probably read the poem, so then it had a profound effect on people. Now, what is that, 60 years later almost, the poem is in a museum, like a Rembrandt or a Picasso. You go and look at it and it's wonderful, but the poem died. It did its job and it's over. And that's, I have a few more.
Entonces, si se ve desde otra perspectiva, los poemas, los grandes poemas, tampoco están estáticos. Poemas como el de Allen Ginsberg, Aullido, ¿no? Fueron muy influyentes, marcaron a toda una generación, probablemente ustedes los hayan leído, pero ahora estos poemas, su efecto está domesticado, ¿no? Han sido llevados a un museo, ¿no? Igual como grandes obras de Rembrandt o Picasso.
And that's true with all poetry. If you think of great poets, even Garcia Lorca, I mean, it becomes socially, culturally antique. I mean, this doesn't mean that it's not great, and you can see why it's great, but it doesn't affect your heart the way Lorca probably did or Borges when he was writing. He had that was the moment with Borges, and every writer in history, if you think back, and it doesn't mean that we shouldn't read them. You constantly learn, but the poem has its moment when the poet writes it and performs it and it's published.
Y este proceso sucede siempre, sucede con grandes autores como García Lorca o Borges, ¿no? Lo que nos recuerda que un poema tiene su momento y su ciclo, ¿no? Y que empieza cuando el poeta lo escribe y continúa cuando el libro se imprime y se comercializa.
And then, because maybe there are a few poets, I have a few the thoughts about poetry, and because you talked about performance, and I perform obviously, but what I do, how I perform, is when I'm writing a poem, I rehearse it as I'm writing it, to hear the sound of the words, day after day. I do it every day, and the poem builds and develops and matures and gets finished, and by that time I've memorized the poem. But the point of me saying this, I've worked out the musical qualities in the phrases.
Esto empieza cuando él escribe el poema, ¿no? Cuando él escribe el poema comienza a corregirlo y al corregirlo empieza también a interpretarlo en la mente, ¿no? Y en la escritura misma ya está el origen de la performance.
And I can't stress if there's any poets here and they intend to perform their poem, not a performance, but just to perform your poetry, is to do this thing of rehearsing. And I don't mean just read one night or two nights, read a thing and so you feel comfortable reading. Rehearsing it day after day after day, like a dancer. You know, dancers rehearse and rehearse and rehearse, and then months later they have a performance, or musicians, classical or any kind of musician rehearses. Not kind of the lazy self-indulgence of a poet, that you don't need to rehearse, or I can read this 3 times, it's all there. But doing it in a certain sense, I mean, it's sort of a weird and a cliche to say, but you know, Michael Jackson, that great dancing that he did, I mean, he rehearsed until he died, and he just rehearsed and rehearsed, and I sort of figured that out, that if you do that, it has enormous results, because it burns off things that shouldn't be there and lets a fluidity happen that's miraculous.
Entonces, una clave para esto es la práctica, ¿no? la rutina, y a través de esta práctica constante no solamente se logra una solvencia, ¿no? que es un proceso similar al que tiene una bailarina o un músico, sea de rock o de música clásica, ¿no? que la práctica, el ensayo es algo fundamental, sino que también en cierta manera logra purificarlo, ¿no? logra sacar las cosas negativas que podrían haber estado en el poema hasta que se va depurando y se convierte fundamentalmente en sonido.
And the reason I suggest this is that I'm just like you. I was never trained musically, so I know nothing about music other than liking it and the few little dumb things. And I was never trained to sing, and I was never trained to memorize, so I had to invent it. I mean, each way makes it more difficult, but it's sort of doing it. I mean, so you don't have to be trained in any way to make yourself, to develop your skills.
Entonces la clave es que para desarrollar las habilidades no necesariamente hay que estar entrenado, o sea que en su caso él no tenía formación musical, formación actoral, pero meramente por repetir sus performances una y otra vez fue adquiriendo destrezas. Okay, John, I'd like to know how you feel now towards the printed text. Is it different to have a new book, even in translation, than to have exhibitions of your poem prints in museums like the Georges Pompidou Center and galleries like Nicole Clarkson? ¿Es distinto tener un libro impreso, llevar los grabados a los museos y a las galerías? ¿Cómo relacionas todo eso?
Well, for me, the printed word is the most important because it's the beginning. I mean, my view of how a poem happens in a person's mind is that in your mind, words come as sound, and the sound comes from wisdom that's inherent in all of us. I mean, it's a wisdom that's not special to anyone. It's the mirror thing. The thing that people see in their minds is wisdom. So words come from sound, sound comes from wisdom, and wisdom, I'm a Buddhist, comes from emptiness. And but when the poem comes from emptiness to wisdom to sound to words, it's written down. That's the next step. When it gets out of your head, it goes on a page.
Los poemas son sabiduría, y esta sabiduría se expresa a través del sonido, en un proceso, pero esa concepción, esa intuición, si se quiere, sabia, divinizada, solo se logra plasmar a través de la escritura, y por eso el papel impreso es muy importante, el texto impreso es muy importante.
So the printed word is very important, but the book maybe is not as important as it was, and as you all know, we're in this amazing transition period that we have no idea what's going to happen with publishing. I mean, we know in the next 2 years, but 10 or 20 years from now, we all know the story. It's a bewilderment how people will read, and young people who have, when it's 30 or 40 years later, and there's 2 generations later, how people will perceive even things on the computer, on those Kindle things, you know. So we're in this change moment. So the book may not be important, but that's not to say the printed word isn't important.
Entonces, precisamente en estos momentos estamos viviendo una crisis cultural que pone en cuestión el futuro de la edición, el futuro del libro. Entonces, por lo tanto, John piensa que el texto impreso es muy importante, aunque quizá el libro ya no. O sea, deberíamos pensar, ¿no?, en las posibilidades, las alternativas que podemos crear, que se pueden aprovechar para seguir trabajando el texto.
Because, I mean, one of those things that Martin was talking about, all the records I did, there was a trajectory that I didn't know about. From when I started in 62 to now, 2011, there was this amazing trajectory that the world really changed. And I didn't realize that I caught a roll and just went with it. But it was those who didn't. So anyway, the world has changed, and it's only people who have antique thoughts, that hold on to the book as being precious, that is the problem. And then I have something else to say.
En la trayectoria que hemos visto en las imágenes, incluso él, sin haber estado del todo consciente, ¿no?, tuvo la fortuna de, por intuición, haber, se podría decir así, cogido una buena ola, ¿no? Y esa ola está desde los años 60 hasta el presente, ¿no?, con todos estos grandes cambios culturales y tecnológicos.